Antalya, by far the #1 city in Turkey for underwater tourism and diving activities. With its thousands of years of historical legacy and unique lifestyle, Antalya fascinates visitors not only with its world-renowned blue flag beaches, but with its colorful underwater life as well. Each passing year, Antalya continues to develop its underwater culture. It is possible to discover the mysteries lying in these deep blue waters along the entire 640-kilometer coastline with expert diving instructors. If you're interested in wreck diving, you can acquaint yourself with these silent witnesses of history. Starting from Antalya Kale-içi, the Saint Didier shipwreck, located only 1 kilometer from the marina, is a military ammunition ship. The ship, which flew France's colors, was carrying military supplies to the Germans in Africa under the disguise as a hospital ship when it was sunk by British aircraft. You can visit the ship, which lies 35 meters beneath the buoy near Konyaaltı, under the guidance of diving centers around the region. On the central Antalya coast, you don't need to be a diver or even be interested in underwater sports to discover the colorful underwater world around Saint Didier. If you don't have time for diving activities, or if you want to see the underwater world from a different angle, the Nemo Primero, the first touristic submarine of Turkey, is right for you. The Nemo Primero, which makes regular excursions from Antalya Kale-içi every day, has a capacity of 44 passengers and can stay underwater for 72 hours. You can witness the underwater mysteries in the utmost comfort through Nemo Primero, a high-technology product and the first touristic submarine of our country. With its expert staff and 6 dives a day, the Nemo diving experience spans around 1 hour. All you have to do is be ready at the Antalya Kale-içi Marina 20 minutes before the excursion to have a daily tour with Nemo Primero. Gazipaşa, which is located at the easternmost part of Antalya's long coastline, is a must-see diving location with its unscathed underwater caves, its rich variety of living species, and its underwater cultural inheritance. Diving continues for 12 months of the year on the west side of Gazipaşa at the Alanya coast. Kale Arkası presents daily diving trainings at every level and unique underwater wealth. The Alanya shipyard located here is the first shipyard of the Selçuks in the Mediterranean. Another popular touristic diving location in Antalya is Side, on the east coast. The specially designed Side Underwater Museum is one of the essential stops for diving lovers. Hosting 110 sculptures in 5 different themes. Poseidon, the Apollo Temple, and Rumi are the most popular pieces in the museum. 3 diving points located at depths of 10, 15, and 25 meters present a joyful and secure tour to divers of every level. Sea turtles, which have preferred the region's coast as their spawning ground for thousands of years, are one of the oldest species of Antalya's deep blue waters. The Belek Coast, which hosts the biggest spawning ground of sea turtles in the Mediterranean, is located on the west side of Side. As you pass to the west wing of the Antalya coastline, the south of the peninsula, you will be welcomed by Kemer Üç Adalar, Tekirdağ, Çıralı, and Adrasan, some of the most colorful tourism centers of Turkey. One of the most famous diving points of the region, available for diving activities all year long, is the Paris wreck. The Paris, which lies in the sandy ground close to the Kemmer Marina, sank in 1917 during the First World War. The shipwreck, 65 meters in length, lies on a varying inclination of 21 to 31 meters. You can experience the mystical world of this French flag shipwreck with one of the Kemmer daily diving tours and with the suggestions of the diving experts. When you move south from Kemmer, you can witness the spawning of the sea turtles around the Chirala coast. If you're lucky, you can meet some of the grown-ups in the sea. At the edge of the peninsula, you can discover the caves around Adrasan and Guérédonia Cape and have a chance to observe different species at the depths of these blue waters. After passing Adrasan, at the base of the Bay Mountains, you can join a boat tour along the breathtaking Likia coasts. When you head further west, towards Kekova, you will bear witness to a captivating journey on the sea. History and nature intertwine with life today in Kekova. The unique region made of different bays and islands is named after Kekova Island, which separates the sheltered marina structure from the sea. The sunken city and Alperlay, located in Sijakpir in this region, Semena in Kalikoi, Timusa in Uchas, and Islada on Gökkaya Bay are ancient cities clustered around the region. The most impressive thing about shallow diving in Kekova's ancient atmosphere is the crystal clear water and visibility range. Diving activities require a special permit in this region, as the cultural heritage it hosts is protected. The Iberian coast is another interesting shipwreck to the east of Kekova. The ship was built in 1979 in England under the flag of the Bahamas and is 72 meters long. The 954 metric ton ship became caught up in a strong storm on its way for maintenance from Antalya to Istanbul and sank in the vicinity of Gökkaya Bay at Çayaz in February 1993. The prow can be seen at a depth of 28 meters and the upper side of the bridge split into two pieces at a depth of 8 meters. The ship's flagboard was destroyed by hitting the rocks. The bow locker remains intact while the stern locker has broken up. The bow prow and the bridge give underwater photographers the opportunity to catch fascinating shots. The Kaş coast, which lies along the west side of Kekova, is the center of underwater tourism in Turkey and in Antalya. The deep blue diving routes of the region host numerous living species. Although there are many natural diving routes around Kaş, some artificial diving routes have also been created to develop underwater tourism. One of the most famous routes of underwater photographers in Kaş is the 45 metric ton tank that was retired from the Turkish military forces and sunk by the Antalya government around Güvercin Island. You can take great photos and videos showing the blue hours you've spent in Kaş. Another popular diving point is the C-47 Dakota warplane. The plane wreckage, with a 29-meter wide wingspan and 20 meters in length, has a very clean and clear profile in terms of visibility. The C-47 Dakota, in which the cabin part can be visited, lies at 22 meters beneath the surface on the sandy floor. You can observe the propellers of an Italian warplane from the Second World War and the protected unique groupers under protection at Flying Fish, along the most beautiful diving routes of the Kaş waters. This point, teeming with silverfish during the summer, is a wide-angle and macro heaven for underwater photographers. You can also visit the Dimitri Wreck here and swim with karetas. In order to see more species, swim above the seagrass meadows, and spend more time with different groupers, we advise you to book a diving tour with Oasis. Diving activities continue all year round at numerous routes around the Kash Marina, such as Guvagin Island, Heybeli Island, Neptune, Kovanlı, Camel Reef, and Besmi Island. In particular, amphoras and other remains from ancient civilizations can be seen throughout this area, mostly around Besmi Island and Chapabanco. You can also join a night diving tour, which are held from time to time all around the region, and see a different perspective of the underwater world. Kalkan, located after Kash on the same coast, is also a very popular area for diving lovers with its wrecks and underwater life. It is possible you might see a kazakh kuyruk ray, one of the largest living species in the Mediterranean, during a night tour. You can dive at the Sakarya Reef to visit the interesting wreckages of Kalkan. In this location, two different wrecks, the Duchess of York and the Sakarya, lie at the same point, but in different depths. The Duchess of York's backside lies at a depth of 35 to 40 meters, and its bow lies even deeper. The ship was shredded into pieces while sinking. The Sakarya wreck lies at a depth of 18 to 20 meters, which is a convenient depth for all levels of divers. You can also make exciting discoveries at the Dudan and Manavgat Falls, Kuprulu Canyon and Olympos, which are all around Antalya and offer extraordinary diving experiences. Today, regional species under threat of extinction continue to live in our deep blue waters thanks to the sea and underwater legacy protection projects that have long been implemented in Antalya. The Mediterranean seal, which is rarely seen around the Mediterranean, is among the species seen at the Antalya coasts, in addition to the kareta, groupers, rays, and amberjacks. The Antalya Government and Coast Guard Command are working hard together in the fight against poaching and marine pollution, and to promote the sustainability of the region's species. The only way to ensure that we not only leave the cleanest and most productive Antalya coast, Turkish territorial waters, and waters around the world to future generations is to protect the habitats of all living species with which we share the same ecosystem. The only request and hope we have for all our guests that visit Antalya is that as we try to protect the underwater wealth as a living culture, that all show the deserved respect to all living creatures that share the seas with us, and that care is given to follow all signs and rules. As the #1 city in Turkey for underwater culture and diving activities, Antalya is determined to continue its efforts both for today and the future without any concessions. With our deep blue diving routes, our crystal clear bays, caves, and our world-renowned clean beaches, as the Antalya Government, we accept that life in the water is a culture of its own. We invite you to discover these exciting secrets hidden in the deep. Like the great Atatürk said, undoubtedly, Antalya is the most beautiful city in the world.